As you know, on Monday, a Muslim terrorist stabbed two uniformed soldiers at a Canadian Armed Forces recruiting office in Toronto. As he stabbed them, he said out loud he was doing it for Allah. That's the name of the Muslim god. He really couldn't be clearer about his motivations. So that was on Monday, March 14th, during the day. Police from Toronto were involved, and they quickly involved other police forces, including the federal RCMP. They're obviously investigating whether this was a lone wolf terrorist attack or part of an organized group. So that was Monday during the day. This would be one of the most urgent items in the federal government, which has responsibility for national security, public safety, and of course, the Canadian Armed Forces themselves. So undoubtedly, the Prime Minister's office would have been briefed, including Gerald Butts, the principal secretary to the Prime Minister. Butts would have had private government briefings. But he's also hyperactive on social media, constantly checking the news, giving his opinions on it, debating people. How hyperactive? Look at the top there. Gerald Butts has literally written 38,500 Twitter comments. It's amazing he has time to do anything else. But my point is that even if, for some weird reason, Gerald Butts had skipped his security briefing, skipped the briefing on terrorism, he couldn't have missed the news on Twitter. That Monday afternoon, the stabbing was all over the news, and that Monday night, the Toronto Sun broke the scoop that the terrorists said it was all in the name of Allah. But look at this. From Twitter, on Monday night, hours after the stabbing happened, Gerald Butts' Twitter feed, you see right there at the top, Gerald Butts retweeted, meaning Butts saw this comment from someone else and liked it enough to republish it himself, retweeted it, and look at what it says. People are losing the spirit of the Ides of March. It's not just about stabbing, it's about coming together to stab in groups. Now, I know what the Ides of March is. It's the Roman way of saying March 15th, when Julius Caesar was stabbed. And Butts retweeted this on March 14th. But the very night after two Canadian Armed Forces personnel were stabbed, hours after it happened, the Prime Minister's principal secretary thought that was an appropriate comment to republish, to retweet. You know, I don't think that Gerald Butts actually hates our soldiers. I don't think so. I think he just doesn't care about them. They're not important to him or to most liberals, other than as PR props sometimes. I think that Gerald Butts heard about the terrorist attack and shrugged his shoulders. His first thought was probably not the soldiers themselves or the risk to public safety, but the people might get the wrong impression from the whole Allah thing, and they might blame Islam, you know, because the terrorist himself blamed Islam, said he was doing it for Allah. That was probably the center of Butts' concern, not the soldiers. I say this partly because Trudeau himself waited a whole day and a half before making any public statement about the stabbing. He really didn't care, and like Butts, talking about terrorism is off message for him. Of course, Trudeau doesn't hate our soldiers, though he mocks them and denigrates them and undercuts them. Like Butts, he really just doesn't think about them most times. A day and a half to issue a perfunctory statement. Well, at least unlike his principal secretary, Trudeau didn't make stabbing jokes. At least not in public that we heard. For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant. Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.